Okay, so off we go. Welcome to this Kleeneze training webinar. The title of this one is Your First 4 Weeks. And this is one of a series of 8 webinars that I do. So I try and do them every Wednesday night. And it's basically a series of 8. Last week we were on getting started. And this week we're doing your first 4 weeks. As you can see there, the first kind of 2 or 3 are to do with the retail side. Then there's a bit about team building side, numbers 4 and 5. And then 6, 7 and 8 are more about kind of your own personal development, your goals, your attitude, that sort of thing. So hopefully you all find them useful. So let's start off with asking you all a question. And feel free to enter any answers you might have as we go along, but it's something for you to think about as well. And what do you want out of Kleeneze? It's an important thing to, hopefully you all know when you started Kleeneze what you wanted. And what I find is really useful with people first starting Kleeneze is to set some goals just to get started. And those goals, I find them really useful to be kind of emotional goals, if you like, visual goals. So I always try and get my team members to think about what would be a short-term goal for them, what would be a medium. So by short-term, I kind of mean 1 to 3 months, something like that. Medium-term should be 3 to 9 months, and then long-term, a year or so. This is just at the beginning. What you'll find as you go through your Kleeneze journey is that those kind of time scales will vary and change anyway. But it's just a really good idea. Rather than just thinking, oh well, I'd like £50 a week, it's really useful to think about what would you use that money for. So it could be something like, I'd love to be able to treat the kids to a movie and a pizza, and I'll need, I don't know, 100 quid a fortnight to be able to do that. So me, the missus, 3 kids would love to be able to do that. So that kind of gives you an idea of what you might like out of the business at the beginning. Medium term, again, it could be something odd. I've got an overdraft, so I'd like to be able to pay off my overdraft so I didn't have to sort of worry about those red letters that keep coming through the letterbox. And it's kind of having not so much the figure, £500 or £1,000, but it's the kind of the visual, sort of not having to worry about the red bank statements, if you like. So trying to set some goals at the beginning is really important, a really useful thing to do at the beginning. So once you've done that, once you've got an idea of what your sort of first and maybe your short-term, maybe your medium goals should be, you need to put in place some kind of plan to achieve that. And the way we do that, certainly in Kleeneze, is to look at the 2 different parts to the business. So there's the retail part and the team building part. And what I normally suggest to people is, if they're looking to earn some money quickly now, then they should really focus on the retail start at the beginning, the retail side at the beginning. Get your catalogues out as quickly as you can, get your customer base built as quickly as possible. If you're more focused on the residual income, you can probably spend more time looking at the team building. Obviously you still need to build your customer base, but the focus can be slightly different depending on what you're looking for. And it's just a useful conversation to have with your upline, or if you're a team leader yourself, with your sort of new team members, just so that you've got an idea of what they're wanting out of the business. It's so easy just to assume everybody joins Kleeneze for the same reasons that you do, and so you kind of start to help them do whatever you wanted to do, which might not be what they want to do. And then the other big question that you need to ask yourself and your team members is, how much time are you going to commit? And there's no point if somebody comes into the business saying, yeah, I just lost my job and I need £1,000 a month to cover my mortgage, but I've got quite a lot of hobbies, so I've only kind of got a Saturday afternoon and a Monday morning to put some catalogues out. You kind of need to understand, given the amount of money you might want to earn, how much time you're going to have to commit to doing that. So I've seen a few comments come up there about what their first goals are. So hopefully you've kind of got an idea in your own mind especially people like Helen who've only been in the business for a few weeks, of what you're looking to get out of Kleeneze. So make sure you kind of know what your own goal is. And it's really important to be patient with Kleeneze, especially at the beginning. Your business can be very up and down. You'll have good pickups and not so good pickups. You know, when you start getting into team building, you'll have sort of team members that join who kind of really hit the ground running, and others that kind of really struggle themselves. And it's really, really important to get an understanding of what Kleeneze can offer you, and then be patient with it and give it time. And take action, and we'll talk about actions a bit more in a moment. Take actions consistently, and that persistence will pay off. So, one thing that I always try to show to new team members, even if they're really focused on the retail at the moment, at the beginning, is just to try and explain a little bit about the residual income side of Kleeneze. So there's a good slide that Chris Mason-Paul showed at a recent, actually I say a recent Millionaires, it's probably about a year ago, talking about residual income. We often talk about residual income as being something that pop stars get when they write a #1 hit, or best-selling authors get when they write a top-selling novel. And that's great, but a lot of people can't imagine themselves writing a #1 hit or kind of writing a fantastic book. But actually, most of us have probably some experience of residual income, in that we've probably got a bank account or a savings account with a little bit of interest coming in. Now, it may not be a lot, so at the moment, savings interest rates are probably 2.5% if you're lucky. And just to give you a rough idea, if you had £100,000 saved in your bank, which most people do, of course, you'd be getting just over £200 a month interest. And that's residual income. The work that you had to do to get that £100,000 has been done. You're now benefiting from the residual income of £208.33 a month, which is fantastic. Now, an alternative way of doing it, if you're not sure that you're going to be able to save up £100,000 in the next sort of few months, is to consider building a Kleeneze team. So, if you do what we recommend, and you do your own retail to get to at least 10%, and you bring some team members in, you introduce some other people to the business, and they hit 10% as well. So that's typically hitting £200 a week worth of orders. That would get you, the 10% will get you your first bonus, so you'll be earning sort of 50, 60, 70 pounds a week, something like that, just from your own retail. Now, if you do that and you start introducing some team members to do that, you can see that based on the bonuses that you will get, if you had 5 team members who all did what you do, sort of £200 a week in orders, you're probably talking 10 to 15 hours a week to do that, then your monthly bonus will be £240 a month. So in comparison, you can see just starting to do a little bit of team building over the next sort of 2, 3, 4, 5 months, and finding 5 people who all just want to do the same as you, you'll be earning a residual income already, and that's going to be giving you more than if you had £100,000 in a savings account. So hopefully you've got the same answer as me on this one. What's most likely for you to do in the next few months? To save up 100 grand, stick in the bank, or to find 5 people who could do what you do? So I'm kind of asking you these questions, but actually the point I'm trying to make is it's the team building side is really, really worth doing, because it's to try to earn a similar amount of money in other ways, you either need to be a fantastic pop star, a brilliant author, or have 100 grand in the bank. It's just so much easier to do it with Kleeneze. Okay, so the title of this webinar was what you should be doing in your first 4 weeks. So hopefully once you've kind of thought about some goals and you're aware of the way to earn some residual income, then there's a few other things that you should make sure you do in your first 4 weeks. A good thing that I say to everybody is become immersed in Kleeneze. What I mean by that is, there's a 21-day rule. If you do something every day for 21 days, then it becomes a habit. Excuse me. And so it doesn't necessarily mean you have to put catalogues out every day, but put your catalogues out, speak to your upline, read, listen to the Easy Reach message, and do a bit of start doing some activities for lead generation. If you're doing something every day, you start to get into a really good routine, and all those disciplines will stand you in a really good stead, as your business grows forward. And a good way to help you do that is to have a kind of weekly planner, and I'll show you a little bit more about that as well. Another important thing that you should be doing at this stage is making a list of everyone you know, and there's a couple of different reasons why we do that. Again, I'll kind of come back to that in a moment. Also, your first 4 weeks may not be the full period, obviously depending on when you start in the business, but your first 4 weeks should be when you're trying to create your retail story. It might be you're 2 or 3 weeks into a period, but so the next full period after that might be where you focus on. But your retail story is probably going to be one of the most important things that you do at the beginning, and that is how much do you earn in your first full period. We all get a check. If you sort of hit your 10% level or above in a 4-weekly period, you'll get a sample check from Kleeneze, your certificate of income, which just shows how much you earned at the beginning. And these checks are really, really valuable. So that could be 200 and something pounds in your first 4 weeks, so £50 a week. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of people who join Kleeneze for £50 a week. And if you can show somebody, friends, family, neighbour, anybody that you might be interested in earning a bit of extra money, that you did it in your first 4 weeks, then that's a really, really powerful story. So the way you do your retail story is you put as much effort as you possibly can in at the beginning. You deliver lots of catalogues, you do them as quickly as you can, get them in and out, show catalogues to friends, family, neighbours. That list of everyone that you know that I talked about earlier, make sure they all know that you're now starting your own business, and would they like to have a look at the catalogue, even if they live right at the other side of the country. With the online shop, anybody can order from your online shop or from your catalogue and help you to get your big retail story at the beginning. Okay, you should also start thinking about your own personal development. At the beginning I talked about the 8 webinars that I go through, and towards the end I cover this a lot more. But it's not a bad idea to start reading some good books to sort of educate your mind in preparation for the things to come, if you like. And a great book to get started on is this one there. It's called The 45-Second Presentation by Don Failer. Where am I? Okay, meetings. Meetings are the lifeblood of a Kleeneze distributor. I recommend getting to as many meetings as you can possibly manage. There'll be local open evenings near to you. We had our local evening run by Sue Marshall yesterday, which was fantastic. Last one before Christmas is always good fun. Millionaires Colleges. We had Millionaires College just recently. There's obviously the one down here. There's one that Gavin runs up in the northeast. And there's one in Scotland that I think Lynn MacDonald runs. There'll be all sorts of local trainings. Your team leader, your upline might have little sizzles that you can go to. And of course, there's all of the national showcases. So the next one coming up January the 4th. Go to as many meetings as you possibly can manage, because you get so much out of them. Your education, the effort that you put into the business starts off based on your own work ethic, but the value that you get out of it and the effort that you continue to put in is driven primarily by what you learn and the education that you receive at all these different meetings. And if you just don't bother going to them, it's kind of like, you know, trying to run a marathon without bothering to eat any food or have anything to drink. It's, you know, it's impossible. And the other good thing is, just make sure you contact your sponsor regularly, your upline. You know, daily, weekly, just, you know, even if you haven't got anything particular to say, just ring them up, just say, hi Jim, just wanted to let you know I got my catalogues out okay, you know, met a couple of nice people, you know, whatever it might be. It's just kind of keeping in touch with your sponsor, because then when you do have any problems, or if your sponsor wants to help you with anything, it's a lot easier if you're chatting on a regular basis than kind of, oh crikey, I haven't spoken to him for 3 weeks, he probably wonders what's happened to me. So contacting your sponsor regularly is really, really important. Okay, I mentioned a bit about a weekly planner. This is the one I send off to all my new starters, just to try to get them to think about what slots they've got available to work the Kleeneze business. So obviously if you're doing this alongside a full-time job, then you need to kind of block out the days and the hours that you're working. If you've got other commitments, you know, if you've got the school run, for example, or you're working night shifts or whatever it might be, you can block those out. And then you can put in the other slots where you're going to do your activities. So I think, yeah, next page, here's a little example. So I put, you know, on here, for example, that Monday morning I'm going to pick up my first drop of catalogues, and Tuesday I pick up a second drop, and I pick up some stragglers from the previous day, and maybe Wednesday I pick up the other stragglers and then I put my order in. Wednesday evening I might prepare my catalogues to go out, Thursday I drop them, and so on. You can kind of see what I'm doing there. Now this is pretty much part-time, as you can see there. There's lots of afternoons and evenings free. I don't do anything at the weekend on this. So there's lots of space where, you know, you can fit around the activities that you're doing around your other commitments. So and this is just a good way of providing some structure to what can be a very unstructured business if you're not careful, because you don't have a boss, you don't have anyone telling you, right, you have to come in at 9 o'clock and you're allowed to go at 5 o'clock and this is what we expect you to do in the meantime. It's entirely up to you. And that's a great thing, but it can also be a bad thing if you don't have the disciplines to kind of structure your day and work out when you're going to do everything. So I find a weekly planner really useful for that sort of thing. So, quick question, does everybody have a kind of routine now that they're following? Especially for new people. Helen, do you kind of feel now that you're settling into a routine? I'm not sure. Can anyone still hear me? I'm just going to... haven't had a response from that, so I'm not sure if everything's frozen. Helen, great. Good, thanks. Yes, you've got a diary when you put fantastic. Fantastic, great. Okay, sorry Helen, thanks. There's that lag there. I shall ask a question and then I don't hear an answer for about 10 seconds and think, oh my god, everything's died. Cool, good. So I'm pleased to see that, because it's very easy when you first start off to just be a bit higgledy-piggledy and think, oh well, I'll just put them out when I feel like it. Thanks, Sue. Probably the technology getting the better of me there. Okay, so when I talked at the beginning about your goals are often goals that you want to achieve that require some results. So, for example, you know, you might want to be able to take pizzas for your children or whatever. Take your children to the cinema and buy them pizzas, and you might need £50 a week to do that, for example. And it's the results, it's the £50 a week that you're aiming for. But it's difficult to focus on that because you can't just make it appear out of nothing. So what you need to do is to think about the actions, because that's what you can focus on. So, as I've said there, your goals are achieved by your results, whatever that might be, £50 a week, your earnings, and those results come about by your actions. So, let's do a little example there. Your goal might be to save up enough for a £1,000 holiday in 6 months. In order to achieve that, if we're just purely looking at a retail point of view, you might need about £1,000 about £5,000 worth of orders in 6 months. So that would be about £800 in orders a month, let's say. So £800 in orders a month, a good action to try to generate that much would be about 800 catalogues a month out. Which is around about 200 catalogues a week. So you could do that. A way to do that would be to put out 100 catalogues on a Monday, maybe pick them up on the Wednesday, put 100 out on the Thursday to pick up on a Saturday, something like that, for example. And what you've done is, by thinking of it like that, is think about, okay, I love to be able to go on this holiday to Ibiza. It's going to cost me £1,000. But instead of focusing on that, what you're doing is, I need to put out 100 catalogues on a Monday to collect again, and then 100 catalogues on the Thursday. You can't control whether you get that £1,000 or not, but you can control whether or not you put out those catalogues every Monday and every Thursday. And that's what's really important, because you can control that, and so you can give yourself little ticks in the box every week. Did I achieve the actions that I needed to achieve? And it also allows you to just adjust them slightly. If you find after a couple of months that you're not quite on target, you might say, right, I'm going to start putting out 150 catalogues on a Monday and 150 on a Thursday, rather than waiting to the day before you go on holiday and realise that you're £300 short. So it's the actions that you should be focusing on, not the results. Okay, I talked earlier about making a list of all of the people that you know. And one of the reasons is, when you're first starting off with your when you're first doing your retail story, trying to get your retail story together. Obviously, if you've got friends and family nearby, or even at the other side of the country, it's really good to have those people to help you get some orders sorted. But it's also really useful to start thinking about team building at the beginning. As I said earlier about the residual income, the sooner you start thinking about team building and putting in place some actions, the sooner that residual income will start. So, a good way to get started on the team building is make a list of 10 people that you know. It could be friends, family, neighbours, anybody that you know, doesn't really matter. What we normally say is a good thing to do at the beginning is just to call them up using the third-party approach. And the third-party approach is very, very simple. You just ring them up, and this can often be with the help of your sponsor, your upline. Ring them up and just say, "Hi James, it's Chris. Hope you're well, mate. James, I wonder if you can do me a favour. I've just started a new business. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Kleeneze. Doesn't really matter what they say then. James, I just wondered if you can do me a favour. I've got some information that I wanted to send over to you. Would you have a little look at it and let me know if you know anybody who might be interested?" Now, the point about that, the whole point of saying, let me know if you can think of anybody who might be interested, is twofold. One is, you're taking the pressure off them. You're not asking them, might they be interested? Whatever you do, don't say, James, you're always skint. You can probably do with a bit of extra money. Come and have a look at this. So, by just saying, see if you can think of anybody who might be interested, then they'll say, oh yeah, of course, I'll have a little look at that. I don't know if I know anybody, but you never know. But the other really, really important thing is you starting to sow the seeds. James may not be interested at the moment, but 6 months down the line, just after you've come back from that fantastic holiday in Ibiza, and he's just sort of had his hours cut at work, he might call you up and say, Chris, are you still doing that Kleeneze thing? Can you send me that information again? Because he knows you do it. So it's all about sowing seeds and kind of getting in a bit of practice, if you like, with the team building side. And once you've made a list of 10 people and you've gone through that, you can add more people to it every day. There's a great memory jogger in the Buzz Getting Started book that you get with your starter pack. And that's kind of got a great way of kind of just reminding you about different sort of people that you can add to your list. Really important to follow them up, so don't just send them the information and leave them to it. ring James a couple of days later. Just say, what did you think about it? Did anybody come to mind? And 9 times out of 10 they might sort of say, no, I can't think of anybody at the moment, but if I do, I'll let you know. But you might have somebody say, you know what, my brother-in-law's just lost his job, he's been looking for something like this, and I've sent it up to him, he says he's really interested, he's asked for your telephone number. Or, who knows what might come from that. As I said, the important thing is you're sowing those seeds at the beginning to all those 10 people now know that you have a way that they can earn some extra money if they want to. Okay, let's just see who's been asleep and who's wide awake. I talked at the beginning there about the 2 different ways in Kleeneze that you earn money. Can anybody remember what I said? Yeah. Retail and sponsoring. Yeah, team building. That's it. Yeah, exactly right. The residual side, yeah, that tends to come from the team building, but yeah, the retail side and the team building side. Very good. Well done. Hey, retail and team building. There we go. Okay, what were the 2 ways that you can earn £200 a month residual income? Anyone remember that? Very good, yeah. Interest on 100k and sponsoring. 5 people. That's it. Well done, guys. Yeah. So it's and that's really powerful. I don't know about you, but I mean, I can't imagine saving up 100 grand. But I can certainly imagine finding 5 people over the next few months that might be interested in joining Kleeneze. So that's just a really powerful kind of way of looking at it. Okay, very good. And just towards the end there, I was saying, what should you be focusing on when you're doing your Kleeneze business? You don't want to focus on the results. That's it. Focus on your actions. Well done. Because that's what you can control. You can control your actions, not the results. Okay, guys, we're just about finished now. So just so that you're aware, that was the first 4 weeks. Next week is all about building your customer base. Hopefully should be same time, same place. I'm just going to stop the recording now because we've kind of come to the end of this little bit.